Antes de engordar mucho por culpa del virus, empieza con este entrenamiento ya. A few days in lockdown and I learned Spanish. Join me for this pretty intense yoga class for strong glutes and legs. Start coming to the top of the mat, arms by your side. Take an inhale, raise your arms, palms touching, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows backwards. Lift up, inhale, back bend, and exhale, coming into your downward facing dog. Come forward into a plank pose. Stay here, shoulders above your wrist. Raise your right leg up, point your toes. Raise the leg up, lower down. Lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knee into the chest, foot high, knee high. Extend the leg, knee to chest, and extend for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot down, downward facing dog. Come forward into plank, shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Plank pose. Raise your right leg up, point your toes. Then lift and lower. Lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee to chest, foot high, knee high, and extend. Knee to chest, extend for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot down, downward facing dog. Come into a plank, shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look towards your hands, step, walk, hop. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Stay here a moment. Bend your knees slightly, walk your hands over so they're in front of your left foot. Raise your right leg up. Flex your foot, your heels on one line so the back doesn't come behind you. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Foot down. Walk your hands over to the other side. Raise your left leg up. Hold here. Flex your foot. Heels in one line for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Foot comes down. Walk your hands back. Lengthen, lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Catch your ankles. Stay in your forward fold. Relax your head. Holding here and breathe for 3 more. 2 and 1. Release your hands. Bend your knees. Come into chair pose. Extend your arms forward. Holding here in your chair for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Samasthiti here. Inhale, raise, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, back bend, inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward into plank pose again. Raise your right leg up, point your toes. Bring your leg to the right side and back. To the side and back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knee towards your right elbow and bring the leg back. Right knee towards right elbow and back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot down, hips high, downward facing dog. Come forward into a plank pose. Vinyasa, shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward again into your plank pose, other side. Left leg comes up. And then bring the leg to the side and back, to the side and back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee towards elbow, extend. Knee towards elbow, extend. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Stay here, catch your breath, and then flow through vinyasa or stay in down dog. Forward plank, shoulders forward, knees down or not, bend the elbows, lift into a back bend, and from there coming into a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look towards your hands, step, walk or hop forward. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Stay here, bend your knees, walk your hands over towards your left side again, so they're in front of your left foot. Raise your right leg up to the side. This time we're pulsing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, other side. Raise the leg up and pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Stay here, feet are hip distance apart. Pick up your big toes, middle index finger and thumb. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold, hold here. Neck relax, shift the weight forward and breathe. For 3 more, 2, and 1. Release your hands. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold forward, heel to your feet together, and then bend your knees coming into your chair pose. Shift the weight towards your right leg. Lift your left foot up, bring your heel towards your glute. Knees stay in one line. Flex your foot, hold here. For 5, 4, standing leg, stay span, 3, 2, and 1. Release, other side. Knees together, lift your heel as high as you can. So you're squeezing your heel towards your glutes. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Foot down, Samasthiti. Inhale, raise, and exhale, fold. Lengthen, lift, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. I hope you haven't given up yet. Come forward into plank pose. Raise your right leg up, point your toes. Little circles in one direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your right knee towards your left elbow and straighten. And again, so you're twisting and straighten. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step back, downward facing dog. Stay here. Or option here. Flow through vinyasa, plank, shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward again into plank pose. Raise your left leg up. Little circles, one direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee towards opposite elbow and back. Twist and back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank and downward facing dog. Well done. Bend your knees, look towards your hands, step, walk, hop forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift, exhale, fold. Stay here and walk your hands over towards your left again until they're in front of your left foot. Float your right leg up. Lift and lower to a float. Lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Place the foot down. Walk your hands over to the other side. Float your left foot up. Keep the foot flexed. Lift and lower. Lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot comes down. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold forward. So you can take your ankles again if you're taking it easy, or place your hands underneath your feet until your toes touch your wrist. Lengthen, lift, inhale and exhale, fold, holding here and breathe. Neck relaxed, shift the weight forward for 3 more. 2 and 1. Release your hands, lengthen, lift, exhale, fold, heel to your feet together, bend your knees, come into chair pose, extend your arms forward, shift the weight into your right leg, lift your left foot up, now extend the leg behind you, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Foot comes down, shift the weight towards your left, extend your right leg behind you, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Foot comes down, Samasthiti, arms by your side. Inhale, raise, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. High lunge on the right side. So right foot behind your right wrist, back heel is up, and both set of toes face towards 12 o'clock. Come up, place your hands on your hips. Holding here, ribs together, tailbone is long, lengthen through the crown of the head. Then bend your back knee, tap it down, and lift up. Keep your front leg bent. And again, bend and tap. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, hold, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands on the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Other side. Left foot behind your left wrist. Stay here for a moment. Both set of toes face forward. Back heel is off the mat. Come up. Feet on train tracks. Hands on your hips. Ribs together. Tailbone is long. Holding here. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And then bend your knee. Tap it down. Lift it up. Front leg stays bent. Tap and lift. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands on the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. And then stay here and come into all fours. Draw some circles with your hips in one direction and then go in the other direction. Neutral position. Bear stance. Have your toes tucked under. Lift your knees up just to hover. You're simply holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Lower down your knees. Point your toes. And again, toes tucked under, lift your knees up. This time, your right knee comes into the chest, step it back, knees on a hover, left and step. Right, left, right, left. 2 more rounds. Left, last one. And lower down your knees. Okay, walk your knees a little bit further back. Toes are tucked under, lift your knees up. And then bring your hips towards your heels as if you're charging. And come forward into a plank. Shoulders go beyond the wrist. And again. And forward. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Take your right foot behind your right wrist. High lunge again. Coming up. This time have your arms by your side. Take a little step with your left foot. So you're coming forward a bit. Start to fold forward with your torso. Your arms are hanging by your side. So they're fingers pointing towards the mat. Lift your back leg up. And then tipping forward until your fingertips touch the mat. Come up and let your left big toe tap down. And again, so you're coming forward. Keep your standing leg slightly bent if possible. And forward and up. We'll do 7 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step back, downward facing dog. So I assume you could feel that in your glutes. Feel the little burn. Other side. Left foot behind your left wrist. Back heel is up. Come up. Have your arms by your side. Take a little step forward with your right foot. And tilting forward. Raise your back toes up. And then your fingers tap down and coming up. Tapping forward. Standing leg is bent and up. Tip and up for 7 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then step back. Downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Bend your knees, look towards your hands. Step, walk, hop forward. Lengthen, lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, palms touching. And exhale, Samasthiti here. Chair pose. Extend your arms forward. Bend your knees. Now fold forward until your torso is approximately parallel to the mat. Now lift your heels up, lower. Lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your heels up. Pauses with the hips for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down. Come up. Samasthiti. Take a big step to the side. Have your toes turned out. Hands on your hips. Bend your knees until your thighs are parallel to the mat. Okay, so feet are nice and wide. Are you sure they're parallel? I'm pretty sure you can go a little bit wider with your feet. Okay. Tailbone long ribs together. Holding here, then lower and lift. Lower, lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Lift your right heel up and pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, other side. Pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, holding here. Pause your knees backwards for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding here. Feel the burn. Go a little bit deeper. And then slowly come back up. Turn your toes in and your heels out. Nice wide stance again. Forward fold. Inhale here. And exhale. Fold forward. Place your hands on the mat. Walk your hands back until your fingers are in line with your toes. Lengthen, lift on your inhale. And exhale. Fold forward. Bend your elbows backwards. Shift the weight forward slightly. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Lengthen, lift, hands on your hips. Inhale all the way up. If you've gone into splits, bring your feet a little bit closer. Interlace your hands behind you. Straighten your arms. Lengthen, lift up on your chest. Take your arms with you over your head as you fold forward.
Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Slowly come back up. Release your hands. Samasthiti here, top of your mat. Arms by your side. Inhale, raise. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right foot behind your right wrist again. Now walk your hands forward a little bit. Keep your fingers on the mat. Raise your back leg up. We will bend and extend both knees. So bend and extend without locking your right leg. Bend, extend for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs are straight. Your left leg, pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg up. Bend your right, no, not your right, your left knee. Flex your foot. Pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point your toes again. Your left knee will come onto the mat outside your right foot and we will sit down. So lower, sink your hips down. So you're sitting down. If you landed on your heel, move your heel out of the way. Bring the leg around. So knees are stacked on top of each other. Lift your hips up, wiggle around a little bit. So you're centered. Good. From here, lengthen and fold forward. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up. Much needed stretch for the glutes. Only this one, I'm afraid. We'll do more later. Start to shift your weight towards your left. Take your right leg, swing it all the way around. Place your hands on the mat, back toes tucked under, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, glutes engaged, and exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look towards your hands, step, walk, hop. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, Samasthiti here. Inhale, raise, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, step back, plank. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows backwards. Move slowly. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side. So your left foot comes behind your left wrist. Walk your hands forward now. Raise your back leg up. Unlock your standing leg. So you're not locking, you have a slight bend. Now bend both knees and straighten. Bend and straighten for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back leg is straight, standing leg is straight as well. And then lift the right leg up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee, flex your foot, pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We come into our seated position. Your right knee goes onto the mat outside your left foot. Sit down. If you landed on your heel, move your heel out of the way. And then bring your top leg back.
Knees are stacked on top of each other. Raise your hips up, wiggle around, lower down. Inhale and exhale, fold forward. For this delicious glute stretch, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back up. Lean over towards your right side. Swing your left leg around, all the way behind. Place your hands on the mat. Step back into plank pose. From plank, shoulders forward. Lower down your knees all the way onto your belly. Make a pillow with your hands. You can rest your forehead on your hands. Bring your legs wider. Bend your knees, flex your feet. Your heels are touching, toes turned out. Lift your knees, thighs up to a hover. Lift them higher, lower. Lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay high. Stay high. Holding here. Now straighten your legs. Your feet will come apart. And then you're squeezing your heels towards your glutes 10 times. You straighten and then squeeze. Straighten, squeeze. Straighten, squeeze. For 7, 6, knees, thighs off the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold and release. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Place your hands next to your chest. Lift up into a low cobra. Holding here, elbows bending backwards, shoulders away from your ears. And then slowly lower down. Make a pillow with your left hand. Reach behind you with your right hand for your right foot. Knees are next to each other now. Move your heel towards your hips. Tailbone long. Pubic bone is pressing down. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Switch sides. Hold here, knees together. Tailbone long, pubic bone pressing down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Place your hands next to the chest. Have your toes tucked under. Press yourself up. Sit to heel, coming into your downward facing dog. Pigeon pose. Place your right knee behind your right wrist. Foot comes to the left. Sink your hips down. You're centered. You're not leaning to either one side. Fold forward, forearms on the mat. Hold here and breathe. For 2 more. And 1. Place your hands onto the mat again. Back toes tucked under. Lift up, downward facing dog. Other side. Knee behind your wrist. Foot to the side. Sink your hips down. You're centered. And then you come into your forward fold. Hold here and breathe. For 2 more. And 1. Come up onto your hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Hai caramba. From here we come into a seated position. So either jump or lower down your knees. Come sitting down. Well done, that was something, eh? So we're doing some stretching and at the end some TRE, and I hope you can join me for that. So for the stretching, have your knees bent just a little bit. Place your hands behind you, leaning back. Take your right ankle above your left knee, flexing your foot, and then stand up your left foot. Press your chest towards your shin. Holding here. Keep breathing. 2 more. And 1. Lean back. Extend the leg forward. Straighten the leg out. And then folding forward. Keep your chest lifted. Hold here. For 2 more. And 1. Come up. Place your feet flat on the mat. So have your knees bent just a little bit so you can easily
place your ankle above your knee. Flex the foot, bring your foot closer towards you, press your chest forward, holding here for 2 more, and 1. Lean back, straighten your leg out, and fold forward here. Hold for 2 more, and 1. Slowly come back up. Place the soles of your feet together. Move from side to side. Place your elbows against your inner thighs. Chest stays lifted, hinging forward from your hips. Hold here for 2 more, and 1. Slowly come back up. We will come laying down. So lift your knees up. Place your feet flat on the mat. Extend your arms forward. Slowly, slowly lower down all the way onto your back. Bring your feet a little bit closer towards you. Take your right ankle over the left knee. Hug your left knee into your chest. Hold here for 2 more, and 1. Release. Switch sides. Left ankle over your right knee, and then hug your knee into your chest. Figure 4 stretch. 2 more, and 1. Release. Take your right knee over your left. Lift your foot up, bring your knees towards your chest. Raise your head, raise your shoulders up. Catch your ankles. Please don't take your feet, take your ankles. Lower your head, shoulders down. And then pull your heels towards your outer hips. You should feel a pretty intense stretch in your right glutes. Hold here for 2 more. And 1. Release. Other side. So knee goes above the other. Lift your foot up, knees towards your chest. Lift your head, shoulders up. Take your ankles. Lower head, shoulders down. And then pull your heels towards the outer hips. Hold here. Feel the stretch in your left glutes. For 2 more. And 1. Release. Both feet on the mat. Now bring your right knee towards your right armpit. Take your right arm inside your knee. Lift your foot up. Flex your foot, catch the outer edge of your foot. Pull the knee towards you. So move belly, chest out of the way. And the knee comes towards the mat next to your chest. Half happy baby pose. And release. Other side. So left knee towards your left armpit. Your arms on the inside. Lift the foot, flex the foot, catch the outer edge of it. Pull the knee down. Hold here, half happy baby pose. And release. Check out your legs a little bit. So if you're not doing the TRE, maybe do a little Shavasana in your own time. If you are doing the TRE, you're in for a treat. Stay laying down, and I'm going to run you through it. I'm glad you're joining me for the TRE. TRE helps reduce tension in the body. It can also ease anxiety, stress, and can help with pain caused by tension. Come laying down on your back, and I'm going to guide you through it. Arms are by your side. Let your knees drop to opposite sides. Have the soles of your feet touching. Lift your hips up. So we will stay here for 2 minutes. I'm setting my timer. Keep time. So there's no separation between mind and body. Everything that we experience has an influence on our body. So everything we experience comes to us as energy. We receive and assimilate this energy.
and get rid of any excess energy. However, if you experience something traumatic or we're exposed to stress over a prolonged period of time and we do not have the means or the option to get rid of this excess energy, it can stay stuck within us. So in a stressful situation, our body can go into fight or flight mode. Adrenaline pumps through the body, the muscles are tense, and we are on high alert. After the experience is over, we want to go back to a normal state. However, that's sometimes not possible. We are stuck in this constant fight or flight mode. Our muscles are tense, our mind is racing, we're on high alert the whole time. So how do we get rid of this excess energy? So everyone has an inbuilt mechanism to get rid of this, and that's through shaking. You may have experienced it on yourself, on other people, on children, or on animals. So I experienced it with my daughter who fell down the stairs, hurt herself pretty badly, and on the way to the hospital, her teeth started chattering. That was excess energy leaving her body. It was a good reaction. So stay here. If you feel the heat and the exhaustion in your glutes and in your legs, you lower down. So we've been here over 2 minutes. However, if you're not tired, if you're not exhausted yet, stay up here a little bit longer. Let your knees drop to the side, then lift your knees up a few inches, and we hold here for about a minute. So TRE invokes a shaking, a tremor in the body. When we shake, our body relaxes, our muscle relaxes. We get rid of this excess energy and this tension in our body. So the muscle that's mostly affected by a traumatic event is the psoas muscle. So psoas muscle is attached to the lower spine and it goes into the hips. So when something traumatic happens to us, we're rounding our back forward to protect the underbelly. But if you're stuck in that, if the psoas muscle is tense and constantly tense, it can lead to problems in the back, in the psoas, or you can have sciatic pain. It can also lead to shoulder pain or neck pain. So what we're doing here is invoke a tremor. With the exercises earlier, we tired out our muscles, and then later we want to release them. So bring your knees a little bit higher now. Arms stay by your side. And if your muscles are tired enough, you probably feel a tremor or shaking already. So I can feel something. So we stay here for about a minute as well. So if you do feel a tremor or shaking, stay with it. Try not to fight it. You cannot control it. However, if it's too overwhelming, you can always stop by straightening out the legs. And then bring your knees closer. So knees are not touching, soles of your feet are still together. And we stay here for about a minute. And you may feel something happening in your legs. Maybe it's deep, deep inside you. Or maybe your legs are starting to move from side to side. So everyone is different. So if and when you're ready, you place the soles of your feet flat on the mat. Your knees are facing upwards, they're not touching, arms are by your side. And then observe what's happening in your body. If you don't feel anything at all, if you're new to this, it's not unusual. Your body needs to learn first how to let go. For me, I experience convulsions. I don't know what that's all about. Other people feel a slight tremor in their body, in their legs, in their hips. And some people, their legs are shaking from side to side, so they're quite big movements. So it's all normal, it's all good. And remember, if it's too much, if it's overwhelming, you can always straighten out your legs. In case tears start to flow, let them flow. It's stress release. So all of this is stress release. So if you're doing this on a regular basis, it can change. And the shaking and the tremors, they're traveling through the body and they're finding tension and releasing it. So we can stay like this up to 15 minutes. So I suggest at least 5 minutes to stay here. I'm probably going to leave you earlier than that. At the end, make sure you straighten out your legs and take a moment in Shavasana to release. So after your TRE, you may feel exhausted. I usually feel quite exhausted. Other people have told me they're feeling energized. They have lots of energy. Some people say they have after tremors. So maybe you're going to feel something later today again. If you're doing this in the evening, it should give you a nice and deep and relaxed sleep. Stay here for as long as you like. And remember, before you come out, straighten your legs. And take a couple of minutes in Shavasana.